Should the Chicago Bulls trade for Rudy Gobert this offseason? Let's talk about it, starting now. Now, if you are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel talking Chicago sports, how Chicago talks. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. Now, with everything going on in Utah, Rudy Gobert's name has come up, interestingly, with the Chicago Bulls. Why? Because in an article in The Ringer, Kevin O'Connor talked about the Chicago Bulls having interest in Rudy Gobert, as long with free agent center Mitchell Robinson. Now, he said interest. He didn't say they're going after. I want to make this perfectly clear. This is literally, should the Bulls trade for him? And if they do, how does he fit with this team? And it's a couple interesting things, right? I can't say for 100% fact that Rudy Gobert is going to turn into something that he hasn't been out in Utah. But in my opinion, I feel like Rudy Gobert would be a better player than what you saw with him on the Utah Jazz. Why? Main reason for me, Rudy Gobert was a very interesting player because he didn't take a lot of shots per game. He kind of knew his role out in Utah, knows his role out in Utah, right? He's still there. He knew what he was out in Utah. And to me, right, he was very underutilized in this offense. He wasn't somebody that the Utah Jazz were talking about using offensively in every game. In fact, there were some games where he clearly was gone away from when Donovan Mitchell was driving to the paint. And for me, that means that there's an opportunity for him to become a better player than we thought that he might be out in Utah. Why? When he took, and understand what I'm saying, when he took 10 or more shots per game, he only did it 19 times in the entire season. 19 times in the entire NBA season. You're talking about a guy who not only was giving you a double-double, but also was giving you 19 to 25 plus points per game every time he took more than 10 shots. 19 to 25 plus points per game, on top of still giving you 11 to 17. Some games he had 25 rebounds in there. You know what I'm saying? So I think that he would be able to take a step getting away from the Utah Jazz. I think he would be a much better player offensively than a lot of people would think. But even if he's not, right, even if he still comes here and he gives you his career high 16 and 11, would that be worth it? I personally think it would. Now, the question mark comes in, right? Because it's all about what he also gives you defensively. It's not just 16 and 11 or whatever it would be. It's also what he gives you with his defense. You're talking about a guy who comes out, and of course, he's going to give you 2 to 3 blocks at a minimum a game. Some games we've seen him give 5 to 6 blocks. He's going to bring that defensive presence. He's going to shore things up for the Chicago Bulls inside if they were to trade for him. And so for me, I'm definitely intrigued by it. And the fact that I can look at his offensive numbers and say, well, of course, he only put up 12 points in this game. They allowed him to shoot the ball 4 times. But in 4 times, he put up 12 points. That's actually saying something, right? And so I love, listen, the averages mean something, but I've gotten really big into going into the game by game. And when you tell me that 19 times out of the season, when you took 10 or more shots, and when I say 10 or more, I'm talking about like between 10 and 12 shots. It's not like it's between 10 and 20. 10 and 12 shots. He gave you games where he had 19 and 17, 25 and 21, 27 and 19. Like, he's still giving you really good production. And I think the interesting thing is, to me, it's about how does he fit in with this Bulls team. Offensively, I think Rudy could come in and give you a really good fit because he doesn't take a ton of shots, right? Now, here's the thing. I do want to know how you guys feel, man. Let me know in the comments below. Do you feel like Rudy Gobert would be a good get for the Chicago Bulls? Do you feel like he would be a good trade piece for the Chicago Bulls? I want to know how you guys feel in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. Here's the other thing for me, right, with Rudy. It also comes in because he is making $40+ million a year over the next 4 years. $40+ million a year over the next 4 years. It also comes down to, hey, what can Rudy give me that puts me on the next level? What can Rudy give me that makes me a championship contender. Because that's what it's about. If I'm paying you $40+ million, it's not about what can you do for me to get me to the Eastern Conference Finals. It's about what can you do for me to get me to a championship. I feel like his contribution to this team, and yes, the pieces you would have to send back, I'm thinking probably Vooch, maybe Kobe, or it might even be Ayo at that point. I don't think P. Will would have to be in that deal for you to get that deal done. But you're talking about a player who you're also probably sending that 18th pick, but you probably sending Vooch out there because he's on that expiring deal. If they're really looking to go away from Rudy Gobert, they're probably looking to get a young, solid piece in there. Vooch is on an expiring contract. That's an enticing piece for him, and he's not on a ton of money. And you could compete this year with him and possibly re-sign him so that he is a cheaper piece out in Utah, but a piece nonetheless that still gives you good production offensively while not defensively, and then you possibly use that 18th pick to go out there and get him. And listen, you also get some shooting in Kobe White while here in Chicago, right? Like, didn't show us consistency. Maybe they think they're the key to unlocking him with a new regime coming in. Kobe White able to come in and give you some pretty good shooting off of the bench. Potentially, right? Like that could be something that they're looking to do there as well. And gives you a little more size, right? Donovan Mitchell only 6'1", Kobe White 6'5". I know it feels weird, but Kobe White is 6'5". If you're able to get something like that done, I would personally do it because I feel better about Gobert taking an offensive step and being a younger piece that's actually going to fit in with this team for longer. He's only 29 years old. He comes in, if he can come in and he can up his average to 20 points a game with everything else he gives you, I don't feel bad about giving him that contract. I don't feel like the Bulls are missing out on something by him having that contract, right? I feel like you're doing what you have to do to put yourself into championship contention. I'm not saying that Rudy Gobert comes in there and he gives you this dominant back to the basket game. I'm not saying that he comes in there and he gives you this dominant offensive scoring game. But the thing that I do like about it is that Rudy Gobert, to me, doesn't need a lot to be offensively well. Guess what? If he's able to run pick and roll with Lonzo 5 times, that's 10 points. And we know that he can run the pick and roll pretty well. They just don't do it with him that often. And on the flip side of that, right, there's players on this team that we feel need more shots to get more active on the offensive side of the ball. Guess what? Vooch, you hope to win with Vooch on this team, and you hope that he's a part of it. But Vooch might not be a part of the long-term plan for the Chicago Bulls here. Guess who is? From what I've heard, and from what everybody keeps saying, Patrick Williams. Hey, how do you get Patrick Williams more shots? You bring in the big guy that doesn't take that many shots to put up a solid amount of points. You also bring in a guy who's not going to take shots away from DeMar DeRozan. He's not going to take shots away from Zach LaVine. You're going to feel good about your guys being able to get looks at the bucket right now. And I feel like it would be a good trade in that sense, right? You fix your interior defense if you're the Chicago Bulls. You get a guy who has the potential to put up big points, but you don't really need him to. And you fix your rebounding issue. You fix 3 problems in one that we're talking about this offseason in one player. Now, are you still going to have to go find shooting? Absolutely. Are there still other pieces that are going to have to be added to this team? Absolutely. But it's about getting yourself to championship level. Do I feel better about the Chicago Bulls moving forward if Rudy Gobert's on this team when we're talking about making it to a championship with a healthy Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan being able to continue his game and hopefully the ascendance of Patrick Williams? I feel like you're closer. I do, personally. But that's yet to be seen. If it were me, and Utah was willing to take a deal of Vooch, one of your younger players, it doesn't have to be Kobe, doesn't have to be whatever it is, right? One of your younger players and that 18th pick to bring in Rudy Gobert, I would absolutely get the deal done because I think Rudy Gobert makes a difference here in Chicago, and I think that he could do more here for the Chicago Bulls. But it all comes down to this. I want to know how you guys feel, man. Let me know in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. Do you feel like Rudy Gobert is going to be that level of player for the Chicago Bulls? Or do you feel like Rudy Gobert is kind of just, he's a nice name around the league, really good defender, really good defensive piece, but I don't really see him as the the guy that's going to put the Bulls over the top. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. As always, man, it's your boy Pat the Designer, back at it again to continue watching our Chicago Bulls content. Click the links on the screen or check the links in the description below. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Peace.